There are no complaints about the quality of the Ford Mondeo 4 paintwork, and there are no questions about the corrosion resistance of the body. But to the chrome body elements, the owner have complaints after a couple of years of operation. So in particular, under the influence of reagents with which we plentifully sprinkle rods in winter, chrome quickly becomes cloudy and then it becomes covered with bubbles and peels off. After 3-4 years of operation, door seals need to be replaced. It is not uncommon that there are problems with the hood lock cable, which eventually begins to stick. Also, the protective plastic of the headlights is not famous for its quality. As a rule, after 3-4 years of operation, it begins to become cloudy. As operating experience has shown, all power units are quite reliable and do not have any serious drawbacks. The most widely used engine is 2.0. A feature of this engine is a short-term vibration that cannot be treated when the speed increases, over 2500. The same feature has a 2.3-liter engine. In a 2.5 turbocharged engine, after 80,000 kilometers of run, oil seals begin to leak. The main reason for this shortcoming is the failure of the oil separator, the membrane breaks. Another cause of oil leakage may be wear of the gears of the crankshaft and camshaft. On all engines, after 70,000 kilometers of run, cleaning of the throttle valve is required. Floating speed, detonation, and difficult starting of a cold engine will serve as a signal for the need for this procedure. Closer to 100,000 km, the drive belt tensioner needs to be replaced. A signal about the need for replacement will be a hum and clicks when you turn on electrical equipment, climate control, stove, lighting, etc. Closer to 150,000 km, a replacement of the fuel pump is required. The pump failure occurs suddenly, without any signs and symptoms. The fuel tank must be removed to replace the pump. A turbo diesel engine may start to stall and not start already at 30–50,000 km. The reason is soot contamination of the throttle valve and beating it in the extreme position. To fix the problem, flushing the entire throttle assembly is required. Temporarily, tapping on the throttle assembly may help. After 100,000 km, there is a buzzing sound from under the hood after the engine is stopped. In principle, there is nothing wrong with this. This sound is emitted by the pneumatic valve for changing the geometry of the turbine. With such a sound, the valve can work for another 200–250,000 km. But if the sound is very annoying, the valve can be replaced. Fortunately, it is not too expensive, $30–60 USD. When using low-quality diesel fuel, the EGR exhaust gas recirculation valve and nozzle quickly fail. The Ford Mondeo 4 was equipped with a 5- and 6-speed manual, a 6-speed automatic transmission, and a power shift dual-clutch robot. As operating experience has shown, mechanical and automatic transmissions have proven to be the most reliable, but they also have drawbacks. So in particular, in mechanics after 100,000 km, the gear starts to turn on badly. This reason is the behavior of the flywheel. Owners of cars with automatic transmission blamed for jolts and jerks during gear changes. To eliminate the drawback, it is necessary to update the software of the transmission control unit. If this procedure does not help, you will have to change the torque converter. Depending on the operating conditions, city or highway, the automatic transmission will last 250–350,000 km. The manufacturer claims that the oil in all gearboxes is designed for the entire transmission line. However, most experts do not agree with this and recommend changing it at least once every 80,000 km. Robotic boxes always raise a lot of doubts and questions. As a result, they do not have a long service life, up to 100,000 km. Most often, mechatronics and clutch become unusable. This model is equipped with a fully independent suspension. Basically, the chassis has a good resource, but many owners blame the appearance of squeaks and knocks in it with the add-on of frost. The weakest point of the Ford Mondeo 4 suspension, traditionally for this brand, was the stabilizer struts and bushings. On average, they take care of 20–30,000 km. Thrust bearings live a little longer, 50–60,000 km. The resource of the front and rear shock absorbers on average is 90–120,000 km. The silent blocks of the levers take care of 120,000 km. On the same run, the wheel bearings will need to be replaced. The steering is quite reliable, but after 100,000 km, the power steering pump may fail. The reason is a dirty filter in the power steering fluid reservoir. Tie rods, on average, serve 70–90,000 km, and steering tips will live approximately the same. If the rail begins to knock, it can be tightened, but this must be done very carefully, since the bolt is made of fragile plastic and it is not difficult to tear or break it. The front brake pads nurse up to 50,000 km, the rear ones up to 40,000 km. The discs will be replaced every 120,000 km. Despite the fairly good quality of the finishing materials, the presence of creaks in the Ford Mondeo 4 cabin is a common occurrence. The main source of noise are the front panel, door seals in the A pillars and B pillars, as well as in the rear view mirror mount and interior light. With a run of 100,000 km, many owners are faced with a freon leak in the air conditioning system. In principle, there are not many electrical problems, but sometimes the wiring harnesses on the trunk is frayed. As a result, the trunk stops opening, the gas tank cap, and there are also malfunctions in the light. If you are the owner of this car model, please describe the problems that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your review that will help readers of our site when choosing a car.